Hey friends, it's your name here, and today I'm going to walk through the DERMALOGIC Remi electric spa treatment table, the kind of piece of equipment you see in a lot of clinics and high-end salons, but that you might also be considering for a home-based practice. My goal is to strip away the marketing hype and give you a clear sense of whether this table actually delivers the day-to-day value you need, or if you'd be better off looking elsewhere. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First, let's acknowledge the hesitation that comes with buying any heavy-duty treatment table. You're putting a lot of money, over $1,000, into something that will sit in a room for years, taking the weight of clients, equipment, and sometimes even water or lotion tanks. If you've ever tried a cheaper manual table, you know the frustration when you have to crank the footrest up after each client, or when the backrest won't stay where you need it. Those little irritations add up, turning what should be a seamless flow into a series of awkward adjustments. The Remi tries to solve that with 4 electric motors, a memory function for 3 preset positions, and a detachable hand controller. The question is, does that automation translate into real-world efficiency, or is it just a fancy way to drain the battery on a piece of furniture you'll barely move? The first thing I noticed when I unpacked the Remi was its sheer size and weight. The frame is built on a solid steel base, and the tabletop itself measures about 1 meter in length, which makes it suitable for full-body treatments, whether you're doing a massage, a facial, or even a tattoo procedure. Because it's fully electric, the table doesn't need a separate hydraulic pump or manual levers, so you plug it in and use the hand controller to raise, lower, or tilt the backrest and leg rest. In practice, that means you can slide a client onto the table, press a button, and have the leg rest rise to a comfortable angle within seconds. The motor response is smooth, not jittery, which is a big plus when you're dealing with a client who's already nervous about a procedure. For a therapist or esthetician who books back-to-back appointments, the memory function is where the Remi starts to show its value. You set 3 positions, say, a neutral flat position, a slightly reclined angle for a facial, and a nearly horizontal layout for a body wrap, and then you can recall each with a single tap. That eliminates the mental load of remembering exact knob settings, and it also reduces the chance of human error. I tested this with a mock schedule, a morning facial, a midday deep tissue massage, and an evening body wrap. Between each client, I hit the memory button, and the table reconfigured itself in under 10 seconds. The transition time saved was noticeable, especially when you factor in the time you'd otherwise spend manually adjusting the backrest and footrest. The rotating armrests are another feature that feels more thoughtful than gimmicky. They swing from 0 to 180 degrees, so you can clear the sides of the client without having to shuffle the whole table. In a salon setting where you might need quick access to tools, or in a tattoo studio where you have to reach around the client's arm, those armrests keep the work surface tidy. The hand controller itself is compact, with a simple layout, up/down arrows for height, left/right for tilting, and a dedicated memory button. The controller sticks firmly to the side rail, so you don't have to chase it around the room. Now, let's talk about the downsides. Because the table is fully electric, it relies entirely on a power source. In a professional studio, this isn't an issue. Most treatment rooms already have outlet access, but if you plan to use it in a mobile setup or in a location where power is spotty, you'll need a backup plan. The table does not have a battery option, so a power outage means the table becomes immobile until the lights return. That could be a problem for someone who offers house calls or works in a pop-up boutique. Another practical consideration is the noise level of 4 motors running simultaneously. In a quiet spa, any hum can be distracting. The Remi's motors are reasonably quiet, but under the full weight of a client they produce a low grade whir that you'll hear through the headphones if you're listening to soothing music. It's not a deal breaker, yet it's a factor you might want to weigh if you market a truly silent environment. I also noticed that the table's memory function, while convenient, only stores 3 positions. For a practitioner who likes to fine-tune angles for each client, especially a tattoo artist who needs precise positioning for different body parts, 3 presets might feel limiting. You'd still need to manually tweak the angle after recalling a position, which adds a small step back into the workflow. However, for most massage therapists and estheticians, 3 presets cover the majority of their routine.